welcome to my February budget setup. I cannot tell you how many times I messed up setting up this darn budget this month. I was so frustrated. So for starters, I set it up on the wrong page. I meant to have this whole setup on this page when you open it, but I had gone through, lined everything up, put everything down, and then I realized it was on the wrong page, and I said, you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm over it. We're gonna keep going. Nothing's perfect. This is my February budget setup. One difference, I decided to add category names. I have housing, food, auto, lifestyle, health, giving, and then seeking funds or savings. I also added a projected income amount. I will put in the actual amount, and then I'll do an expenses and a savings amount at the end once all the numbers are in and crunched. This was a weird month because I'm getting a big tax refund, which I was not expecting. That was a surprise. So when I got it, I had to decide where the heck I was going to be putting this extra amount, which is like an extra paycheck. I decided to put pretty much the entirety of it towards my financial coach master training certification. So I'm saving up for that. One other big difference that I did was here, I did the individual bills, so you can see when these things are due, and then I broke them out. I was tracking more things this month because, again, Valentine's Day, new wedding gift. So I just plain didn't have room to fit everything on one page. So I consolidated like all of these different kind of gym or health related things. I consolidated them all into gym and programming. I was trying to figure out how the heck I could squeeze everything I needed to into one page. And then I tried a really cool thing for the calendar setup. I've been seeing this a lot actually online. I think it's from the Budget Mom, and I'll link her info below. But I really like this visual of figuring out which paycheck is going to pay for which bill and when. You can see, so I got my first paycheck. I underlined it in green, and then I put all of my bills out for the month, and I looked and I said, okay, what am I going to use this paycheck for? And so I saw I was going to do some cash envelopes. I was going to buy a wedding gift, and then I had my Roth IRA withdrawal and also my cell phone all coming out this week before I got my next paycheck. So I said, when I got this paycheck, this is what they're used for. And then the same thing, I did it just for each paycheck. I looked, said I got paid this day. What can I take out of this paycheck to pay for these specific bills? And then same thing, paycheck 3, and then paycheck 4. As you can see, I don't really have any other bills besides my Roth withdrawal. So for paycheck 4, I will likely use it to pay my rent, utilities, and my subscriptions that come out on March 1st. So that is the plan. But I thought this would be really interesting to share because some people are very visual. Actually breaking down, doing a paycheck budget and seeing this visual, I think is very helpful for a lot of people. And then I didn't write it in for January, but this time I wrote in some finance related notes and things to take care of. And so I've already started to do that. As I continue through the month, things will come up. I will add them if needed. So that's that. And then last but not least, so a little bit different from last month as well, I decided instead of just having one category, I broke it up into category and subcategory. And so I can break it up a little bit more precisely. So this is my checking balance one. And so I put my starting balance in here, and then all of these, they have not hit yet. So I haven't updated my checking account balance yet, but once they update tomorrow, I will do that. And here's the really new one. I decided to do an expense tracker for my cash envelope spending. I can already see a difference in my behavior from using cash envelopes. And now I'm using cash envelopes at this point in time so I had one for my travel when I went on the wedding, and then I'm doing it for dates, for eating out, for groceries, and for miscellaneous things. I think this is going to be good for me, and I think it's also going to be good for my health because it really makes me pause. Do I really want to use that cash? Because once it's gone, and I'm not going to replenish it. And if I do, I'm going to have to come on here and tell you guys that I broke my budget and I went over budget because I was not planning properly or I was being lazy. There's not many spaces to do transactions, so I'm probably going to need to set this one up as well, most likely for my checking account. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so the issue I'm running into, this is a beautiful planner, just the way I'm using it right now is not fitting or not necessarily meeting all of my needs. So that leads me to my next thing, which is a giant happy planner. It's the big size. It's the 8.5 by 11. The reason I wanted to get a happy planner or to go back to the disc bound system was because those issues I'm running into with the Erin Condren of not having enough pages or not having enough space is this you can just pull out, which is what I really appreciate about the disc bound. But as you can see, my monthly setup is the exact same as what I did in the Erin Condren, but the difference is I made printables. I have February goals, which, like I said, I just printed them out today, so I will go do this later. I have February reminders, which would be something like, for example, wedding travel. Basically, just random things I need to remember that I will need to pay, just budget related. Reminders, goals, I might do something like, I've been doing a no fast food challenge, and I mean, I've eaten out like once or twice already, but the goal is to not, eat out as much, by extension, not spend as much eating out. Then I have a bill tracker at the bottom, but I think that might be a little bit redundant given the fact that I have this on my calendar and I have all the bills and the dates and stuff that's due, but I included it just in case I want to use it. Like I said, I was just brainstorming. Then this is what the monthly budget looks like. I filled it all in and then I calculated it, double checked the amount. It's a very similar setup to what I have in the Erin Condren. It's just that I can print it and I think it'll make my setup a lot faster and a lot less frustrating. One thing I can tell already, the width and the height of these rows are very small. So next month, or if I decide to adjust sooner, I'm gonna expand these. Then I have an expense tracker for my checking account, and I did my starting balance, filled in all the stuff that I had on the one I just showed you guys. So I got the expense trackers for my checking account, and then I have an expense tracker for my cash spending, my cash envelopes. And again, it's the exact same thing that I had in my other one. To be fair, it took me a while to create these printables, to set it up and design them, and any adjustments I make, of course, will take a little bit of time. But I still think it is a lot faster, and adjustments will be made a lot faster, and mistakes can be fixed a lot easier than when I did it in my Erin Condren. And I couldn't, for example, if I had to like just totally trash this, I could pull it out, basically just like this, pull it out, toss it in the recycling bin, print a new one, and be good to go. So I have my sinking funds, and then I have a February budget review, which I would use at the end of the month to show you guys my spending and actually go a little bit deeper. I could actually break down what percentage of my income was going towards each category, what did I spend last month, what was a change in my spending. Like, for example, my goal is to not eat out as much, so hopefully my food will be less spending than last month. So things like that. And then I have a general notes probably that I will use as a review, maybe just to write my thoughts so that I can look back on it later, because that's another really great thing about something in paper. Years from now, you may not remember what you were thinking, what your dreams, what your hopes were for doing this budgeting, and having something on paper is nice. A nice way to look back on those memories, and also just to see your progress. Like, I'm saving my trackers. I'm not planning to get rid of these anytime soon, if honestly ever, because these are really cool, and it's really awesome to be able to look back and be like, yeah, you know what? I did it. I put in the work and I made it happen. And if I can do this, then I can do any of these other goals that I have set for myself. So again, that's one of the nice things about putting pen to paper. And then the last page is that net worth. I want to take this chart, and when I do it at the end of February, I want to paste that in right here, and then I just want to see what was the change in my net worth. That is all. This is just a big happy planner because, again, convenience. These pages are 8.5 by 11, not a weird size, so I can just print something out, pop it in once I use the hole punch, and be good to go. So this month I will be using both of those to see which planner works better for me, which suits my needs, and then moving on in March, I guess I will commit to which one I prefer better. So that is it for now. That is my February setup in both my Happy Planner and in my Erin Condren. Thank you so much for watching, and I will keep you guys updated on how things go. Bye, everyone.